You cannot hide behind scorpionic energy because scorpionic energy will be like, no, I want to see your realness, the rawness of you. I want to see the things that you don't tell anybody. I want to know about the things that you don't tell anybody. I want to know about your secrets. I want to know about all these different things. Like, it's intense. And that's the best way to describe scorpionic energy. It's very intense. And not a lot of people can handle that kind of intensity. Hello and welcome, you guys. If you're new here, my name is Petra, and welcome to Rockin' with the Stars. We are so happy to have you join the Star family. And yes, let's get right into it. I'm recording this on the day of the Scorpio full moon, and I feel like this is just so cathartic, but also it was very necessary for me to get on here and shoot and record because I think it's been almost like a month actually recording the video. Um, I have been doing lives. So, say for example, you haven't joined any of my lives. I've actually got on live, YouTube live, that for that matter, for about 4 times. So, I do urge you guys to definitely, after you comment, and subscribe this video, definitely turn on your notifications. So, anytime that I do get on live, you'll be able to follow along and I'll do little energy check-ins. I might go ahead and go on live actually tonight and pull some cards, some oracle cards and stuff like that, and tap into the energy for the collective. But this is something that I did once strictly for my channel. Because the YouTube live has been doing too much, as it pertains to every time I shoot, my connections starts getting all crazy, so it doesn't show the full content. So this is why I said, let me record a video. So, just so when I do start channeling and I start talking, y'all can get the fullness of it instead of it start cutting off and do all the other stuff. So I'm going to try to get on live today. And hopefully it doesn't do anything as it pertains to my connection or anything like that. But if it does, that's okay. Yeah, but I did want to check in with you guys. Yes, I know it's been a month, okay, since I recorded a video podcast style. But I do want to say it has been one of those things because, and I know this is why I want to talk about this during this Scorpio full moon, because let's first talk about the energy of Scorpio. So if you're not an astrology girly and you don't know too much about, the energy behind the signs or anything like that, I'm gonna break it down for you to be able to understand it. And, it'll be easily digestible for people to understand it. So let's get into the energy behind scorpionic energy. So Scorpio energy is a water sign, but the best way to explain scorpionic energy is the depths of the ocean, but also water that hurts, think of water, a treading of water that just hits. And it's almost as you with water, you can look at water as just flowing like a river, but scorpionic energy is water that can be like a hurricane, but it can just hit you. It's tough. It's like that kind of chaotic kind of water where it's only chaotic because it's raw, and it's the erraticness of that energy. It's the erraticness of water, but it's also the depth of water. So when you think of scorpionic energy, think of the Scorpio energy where it goes to the deep, it goes to the depths of the ocean, and it gets to know you in your fullness, in your depthness. You cannot hide behind scorpionic energy because scorpionic energy will be like, no, I want to see your realness, the rawness of you. I want to see the things that you don't tell anybody. I want to know about the things that you don't tell anybody. I want to know about your secrets. I want to know about all these different things. It's intense, and that's the best way to describe scorpionic energy. It's very intense, and not a lot of people can handle that kind of intensity, right? Because this is emotional intensity. This is internal intensity. This is the things that this is why scorpionic energy, it always likes to go towards the things that are taboo, the occult knowledge, the things that are the hidden knowledge of the universe. It's not surface level. So it being with the full moon being a Scorpio energy, this is the best time to to, like, for all the truth to be revealed, for all those things where, say for example, you've been hiding things underneath the rug. You've been kind of like, oh, I can fix this by myself, but I'd rather not. Like, I'm just kind of like, let me just distract myself by like coping with eating and smoking and playing around, going outside, playing with your friends, this is down the third, like whatever you want to do. Scorpio energy is going to be like, no, you've been playing this whole time, and this whole time, all this stuff, all this shit that you've been stuffing underneath the rug is piling up. It's dirty. It's trash. It's time to take out the trash. Because also about Scorpionic energy, it brings that sense of death. And when we talk about death, it's not always about the physical aspect of death. This is also spiritually, like death, the death of your identity, the death of like times where you've attached yourself by titles and identities and places and spaces and friendships and connections, whatever. All of those things. Scorpio is just like, this no longer serves us anymore. It's time to burn this shit down to the ground. That is Scorpionic energy. It doesn't care that it has to burn it all to the ground, because it loves when when everything is like, that's why I said it's very cathartic, because once you release everything that no longer serves you, yes, it's bittersweet, because you've had so much attachment to all these things. You had so much attachment to that friendship. You had so much attachment to this job, to all these spaces and places. And Scorpio is just like, no, this is not serving us anymore. We're not growing anymore. We're becoming complacent. We're becoming stagnant. So Scorpio will be like, I want all this thing burnt down, because that's the only way change can happen. That's the only way change can happen, is if all of these things come falling down. And this is why Scorpionic energy allows all of these things to take place. Scorpionic energy, it wants it. It literally craves to go down to the depths of spaces and places and connections, And so, and granted, this is also a full moon. And what happens on a full moon? A full moon is releasing. And during on my aspect, because I always like to talk about like what's been going on in my aspect, in my field. I have been doing like the detox and colon cleanse. So leading up to it, like that 15-day cleanse that's been going on TikTok and stuff like that. Yes. I said, let me take part on that, because that was something that I know, like, I was advised that it was time for me to go ahead and do that. Let me release all of those things internally, right? Because we have to understand that before a full moon happens, what happens? We literally accumulate all of these different things. We accumulate new beliefs. We accumulate habits, all these different things that we've accumulated so far. And then a full moon comes, and it's just like, okay, so you accumulated all these things from that new moon, because that's when the new beginnings happen, right? And now we're at a full moon, and now it's time for you to release the things that don't serve you anymore. It's time for you to release the things that are hindering you. And this could be limiting beliefs, right? If we want to welcome in new things, and we want to welcome in new connections and new opportunities, there are certain things that we have to let go of, because they are holding us back. It's almost like being in that liminal space. And I talk about this a lot, especially along my journey, that liminal space of, you're holding on to an old version of you while you're walking towards a new version of you, right? So in order for you to welcome in that new version of you, you literally have to let go of that old version of you and those old beliefs that you coped with in that previous season. So in that liminal space, I feel as though we're all in that liminal space, because now, as you can feel energetically, there's a lot happening in this, or like in this energetic, like things are moving fast. Matter of fact, this whole year is moving so fast. But really, not only that, there's a lot of transformation happening in the year 9. I talked about this as well. This is the shedding of the skin, right? The snake, the shedding of the skin. And this whole process, and y'all can let me know how y'all been feeling. This whole process, there has been like a shedding. And I can speak about me, like throughout this whole 5 months, we're in the 5th month already. And starting from December of last year, it has been a shedding process. Like I have been literally letting go of so many different things. I have been like I will go through seasons of like on my low. Like I will literally feel at my lowest, and then seasons where I'm like, oh, I'm feeling like myself again. And then seasons where I'm like, damn, I don't know, it came back again, because it's that up and down, that emotional roller coaster, because we are literally shedding so many different layers of ourselves. And this is why I tell people to give yourself grace, because as you're shedding layers and layers of yourself, previous versions of yourself, this is how you have to give yourself grace, because you've only known that version of you. Right. And that's why it's so bittersweet, because we've attached so much of our identity to that old version of ourselves. And now when we're asked to learn a new version of ourselves, we have that kind of grip. We have that like possessiveness of scorpionic energy as well. It's like that possession, like, no, this is me. This has always been me. What do you mean? What do you mean I have to die in order to rebirth? Yes, you have to let go of that old version of yourself, and so you can welcome in a new version of yourself. And I think it's so necessary, because all of us, the whole collective, we're all moving into new versions of ourselves, because there's new energy that is being, invoked in all of us, right? We're having so many like DNA upgrades. We're having so many like shifts internally, and that's why the external world is the way that it is, because this is what's happening within us, right? And so in order for newness to come in, the old paradigm, all those old different beliefs and all of those old different things, they have to fall down. So this is why you see the chaos that's happening in the external world, because those old systems, that old paradigm, it has to come crumbling down. You cannot build new things and have new information built off of old, stagnant, and outdated systems and structures. It's necessary for it to come crumbling down. So even with me, I've just been like, you know what? I haven't felt the urge to go outside to like go play or anything like that. I'm like, let me stay in my little shell. Okay. And let me wait until all the noise stop happening. And granted, this is not even me just hiding. It's just like not even feeling the urge to want to do all of that. Like, I don't feel the urge to go outside and go run out and play, because I already feel it within myself that I'm already like I'm going through a transition myself, right? So I'm giving myself grace to let go of those old coping mechanisms and all those coping habits that I've accumulated, that once helped me in my previous version, but no longer helps me in this previous season or in the seasons that is to come, right? So this is necessary. It's so necessary for us to give ourselves grace. And I say this all the time, because a lot of times we want to rush the process and we're like, no, this is not me. This is not how I usually am. But the thing is, the old you is no longer here anymore. And granted, you can have little remnants of the old and previous version of yourself, but you have to understand that you are not the same. You are not who you was in that season, with those people, with that person, with that place, at that job, in that space. You are not that same person anymore. And so this is why I say give yourself grace, because this is a time for us to grieve the old version of ourselves, but stay hopeful and have faith that the new version that is emerging within us will be much better, and acknowledge your previous version of yourself, and thank your previous version of yourself for getting yourself this far. Like I literally had to tell myself, I was like, damn, like there is so much that I've overcame, and I'm so thankful that the previous version of myself decided to keep on going. That the previous version of myself was so resilient to keep on going, because there's so many different people. If they would have lived the amount of things that I've been through, they probably wouldn't have been here. They would not be here in this position where I'm at now to talk about what I've been through. And just because I don't look like what I've been through and what I've survived doesn't mean I didn't go through it. And so a lot of times we'll come across people, and they will invalidate our story and invalidate the way that we received our wisdom, because we don't look like the struggle that we've been through. And I know I don't look like the struggle that I've been through, but it doesn't mean that I can't speak upon the things that I've been through, and I don't have the wisdom that I've learned through those seasons of being in struggle, right? And so this is why I say with you guys, there's a reason why we had to endure a lot of the things that we've had to endure, because a lot of times we are called to be in those spaces and places and be that leader, that master of whatever lesson that we had to learn, right? It can be emotionally, it can be physically, it can be whatever the case that you had to overcome. This is the reason why we need people like you guys to talk about the things that you've been through, right? So you can share your knowledge for other people that may be going through that same thing. The very thing that you survived from, they could be heading into. This is the reason why Spirit is calling for a lot of us new leaders to take to take the forefront. And this is why I always talk about this, because as much as I was fighting it, as much as I was trying to stay in the background, as much as I was trying to kicking and screaming, because I could care less to be in the forefront and to be seen, my spirit was like, no, this is what will bring you the most like fulfillment. And I'm always going to choose what will bring me the most fulfillment. We should always choose that for ourselves, right? So we shouldn't choose stagnancy and complacency, because that is where miserable resides. Miserableness. Like, you want to be miserable. You want to be in depression. You want to be in anxiety and fear all the time. Or do you want to have peace? You want to have joy? You want to have fulfillment? That was literally what, like, I came to that conclusion. I was just like, I want more for myself. Because if I stayed in complacency and stagnancy, and I stayed in what was comfortable, then guess what? I will always be in that emotional roller coaster of depression and anxiety and all these different things and being miserable. And I don't want that for myself. Like, I'm somebody, I need to constantly change and evolve and grow. And I always feel when something is no longer in alignment anymore, and when things have become too comfortable, it's just like, no, it's time for me to jump off the ledge. And which brings me to me talking about this on a Scorpio full moon, because like I said, Scorpio energy will be like, I'm all this stuff, this whole thing can get burnt down. Like, I'm done. It's no more of, oh, I gotta hold this up. Let me put some tape on right here. Let me put some tape right here and here. Let's tie some ropes down right there so it can stay sturdy. No, like, it's not working anymore. Like I said, when it comes to like these coping mechanisms that we've had and we've learned through conditioning, those things no longer work anymore. Now we have to look at the root of the problem, right? Scorpionic energy is going to look at the root. What is going on? What happened in childhood that allowed me to start overeating, start like distracting myself through escapism, through drugs, through all these different things? What happened in childhood? Because all of that stemmed in childhood, right? But a lot of times we get conditioning by, oh, let me just work. And then it catches up to us, right? Later down along the line. Because we've been stuffing. So now in this full moon, this is the truth. Like, there's no more rose-colored glasses, because now the truth will be emerged, and you literally have no choice but to look at it, right? And so this is why I urge you guys, like, this is the season of looking at it. There's no more like, let me hide it underneath the rug and all this other stuff. I'm like, no, it's not working anymore. It never worked to begin with. It's just delaying the time that you have to go ahead and start cleaning up. It's just delaying it. So now this Scorpio full moon is saying, okay, we've been stuffing. We don't have no space no more. Like, everything is cluttered up. Like, we've been possessing all of these things that we don't even need no more. So now it's time for us to go ahead and take the trash out. Right? It's time for us to take the trash out. It's time for us to look at the trash and acknowledge that it is trash, and then go ahead and do some cleaning. Literally, because it cannot stay with us no more. Right? And so this is why I said, like, this is a time where, yes, a lot of times, like, it could be the dream realm, whatever, because like I said, it's the unhidden. Like, so a lot of these answers will be coming to us, like, in the dream realm, or like through like visions, or through like little subtleties, but like, it's things that it will be having like different epiphanies where it's just like, oh, why did I start thinking about this person? Why did this come up? start looking at it. And this is why I urge you guys, like, it's necessary for you guys to start looking at it, right? Because this is the only way that you'll be able to go into something that is more aligned for you. And this is why I said we have to learn through the contrast, because us learning through the contrast is it allowed us to have that discernment and say, actually, this is not for me. This connection is not for me. I don't flourish in this connection. I don't like flourish in this environment. It's time for me to move. And that's why I said, even for me, like I spoke about it, especially on my TikTok. If you follow me on my TikTok, all of my handles will be down in the description box below. But I definitely have become, like, I've been talking about, like, even with me still being in my childhood home, I have already felt like, dang, I'm very much expansive, more expansive than my environment. And I've already been feeling very uncomfortable because it's time for me to move. So say, for example, you guys have been feeling that as well. Like I said, there's so many different stages of grief, and there's so many different stages that we come across where the last stage in the transitional phase will be apathy, when you are literally apathetic. And I talked about this a little bit as well. And a lot of people can like say, like, that is definitely like that is a result of like depression, like that is like a symptom of depression. And granted, yes, it is definitely a symptom of depression, but I'm not going to say that I'm like completely depressed or anything like that. It's just one of those things where I can already feel on an energetic level what no longer works anymore, right? And when I'm aware of that, I'm like, oh, like, now the very things that I was coping with, and y'all followed me on my journey. I talked about the different things that have helped me cope. Walking outside in nature, being able to ground myself, being by water, being outside, journaling or writing down my affirmations, all those different things. But now being at a space where I'm like, I've become apathetic and like literally having that sense of apathy where now I haven't even been outside for real like I used to do. Like I haven't even been walking. Like these are definitely like tell signs that it's time for you to move. Like, you get to a point where it's just like, dang, even it's food that you that used to bring you so much comfort, it used to help you so much, and now when you eat it, it's just like, it don't even hit the same no more. Even the holistic herbs, it don't even hit the same no more. What's going on? Because you've outgrown it. And that's why I said, like, even I love nature and I still love nature, but even just me having the urge to want to go outside and just walk like I used to, that helped me cope, because that is a healthy coping mechanism. But now it's just like, I don't even want to no more. I just feel like I done know the damn neighborhood so much. Like I'm seeing the same old things. Like now I need a whole different environment. And this is what I talked about. Well, and I keep on bringing this up because we have to understand that we are not able to flourish in an environment that God doesn't want us to flourish in. It's almost like planting a seed in the desert. You can't plant a seed in a desert when the seed doesn't have any water. It doesn't have any like nourishment. It doesn't have like an abundant soil for it to like literally lay its roots. It doesn't have it. And granted, I did as much as I could. I did as much as I could do with the resources that was provided to me, right? And you can do your best. And that's why I said that is your best in the environment that you were brought up in. You could do your best, but that is still not your best. That is still not the best that you are capable of, because there's future versions of yourselves that's outdoing your best now. So that's why I'm saying sometimes we can try so many different things. We can pivot. We can try this. We can try this. Sometimes it's your environment. And that is something I've already known. I've known it's been my environment. But instead of like harping on, oh, it's the environment, let me focus on the things that I could control. So instead of worried about externally, I said, let me actually focus on the internal world so I can do whatever I can do internally so that it can shape my external reality. But then you'll get to a point, like I always say, when it comes to like this journey, this journey of growing, you get to a point where there is literally like a stamp in the ground. Like there is literally, what is it called? I always mess up this word and I be forgetting every time. When people exercising and they get to a point where they no longer, they're not losing any weight anymore. What's that? Squall spirit? I forgot. Y'all, this is Editing Petra, and I was sitting here for a good minute trying to think of this damn word. And the word is plateau, okay? The word is plateau. I'm going to leave this in here because, girl, I just look at me. Look how long it took me, and I still wasn't able to do it. I literally had to go on Google to look this shit up, and I had to do it because it was gonna bother me for the whole time. So yes, the word is plateau, but let's get on into the video. I don't know. I forgot the word. But y'all know the word that I said. Like, I keep on saying it, and every time I say it, I literally, it's like, it be nothing that comes up. And I be like, girl, I done forgot the word. But literally, like, when you working out and you've been trying to lose weight, and then you get to a point where it's just stagnant. That is literally what happens. It's like once everything becomes stagnant and you no longer are losing any weight, and you're no longer, what once worked for you to lose all that weight in the beginning no longer works. So now there needs to be a shift. And so I've been pivoting my whole freaking life, and now I'm just like, all right, it's time for me to move. I've done all that I could do with the resources that was given to me. The resources that my parents gave me, which was very minimal. Very minimal with the resources that I was able to do by going outside of myself and seeking that wisdom outside of myself, which was very minimal. But now it's like, okay, it's time for a new environment. It's time for a new environment. And when it goes back to the seed and not being able to flourish in an environment because it doesn't have enough sunlight, it doesn't have enough water, it doesn't have enough nutrients. Okay, now the final step, okay, you gonna feel like you've done all that you could do, and now you keep on bumping your head on against that wall. Every time you bump your head against this wall, and it's not working. It's not working. So when are you gonna say, damn, maybe this maybe it's the wall. Maybe it's this wall. Maybe I need to go where there is no fucking wall in my way. Maybe that's the problem, like, because every time we be bumping our head, and we're like, dang, why we keep on bumping our head? Maybe let's paint this wall in. Maybe that's why I keep on bumping my head. Let's paint it blue. Let's paint it pink. Let me try to go to a different wall. Maybe that'll be easier. And it's just like, how about you go into a room that don't got no walls? How about we do that? How about we do that instead of trying to go to different walls and trying to make ourselves fit, when the problem is we are so expansive that we need an environment that does not have fucking four walls that can keep us in a box. That is the problem. It's not expansive enough for us, and that is the conclusion that I've came across. So now I'm in a season where it's just like, yeah, it's time for a move. And this Scorpio season, it's already been very loud and clear. It's time for that. And that's why I said, when this next opportunity comes and spirit is saying, okay, it's time for you to go. Now that you came to this conclusion, it's time for you to go. You need to pick up your feet and start moving. Okay, because a lot of times we always be like, oh my gosh, no, like, I don't want to move. We're too comfortable. That is what happens. So now when you do better. When you know better, you do better, right? When you know better, you do better. And I'm sorry if y'all hear the noise, girl, they loud as hell. But like I said, when you know better, you do better. So you keep on moving your feet. And that's why I said, don't move slow when spirit provides that opportunity, because a lot of times we've been asking for that opportunity. And then when it's time for us to move, we start dragging our feet, and we start being reminiscent, and we start having nostalgia. We start having all these different things. No. And I know I'm loud, y'all. I'm loud because I don't want y'all to hear the noise outside. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all, for y'all ears. But like I said, like, it's so necessary, because when spirit tells us it's time for us to go, you better make like a haste and move with the swiftness. Okay? Move with the swiftness. Because nobody else is holding us back but us. And that's what this Scorpio full moon is literally showing us. Nobody else is holding us back but us. It's time for us to acknowledge that instead of putting on rose-colored glasses, instead of blaming everybody outside of us. No. Like, I'm done with the blaming everybody outside of me. It's me holding myself back. Let me be about that action for real. And let me actually take the necessary steps in order to get myself into a better environment for me to flourish and grow. And so the same for you guys. It's time for you to take yourself and put yourself in environments that you are able to flourish and grow in. Being surrounded by people that actually pour love into you, nourish you, allow you to push you and like stretch you into like your limitless self. Like, if we are continuously putting ourselves in an environment that with people that have limiting beliefs and they're projecting their limiting beliefs on us, then guess what? We're subconsciously hearing their limiting beliefs and we're applying it to ourselves. If they're in lack, we will be in lack. So when we're asking for abundance, we will have imposter syndrome when abundance comes. We will literally self-sabotage when abundance comes. So it's necessary for us to be mindful of that. And I just saw 333. Okay. And that's my number, y'all. Okay. But this is why I said it's being mindful of that. Surround yourself with people that expand you, that literally are able to help you stretch and grow and like expand you to so many different spaces and places. It's so necessary. And this is why I say it's based off of what you're consuming. I'm going through a detox and I'm making sure, like, physically I'm detoxing, but I'm also detoxing a lot of stuff that is not really like pouring into me for real. I've been less on like social media as it pertains to like, Instagram and stuff like that because, I just haven't been feeling the urge to. So that's why I said, like, if you feel called to do that detox with social media and like physically, like the things that you've been eating, the things you've been consuming, this is the reason why. It's so, so necessary. But yes, and I do want to say, you guys, like, I'm so appreciative of all the people that have been coming across my journey as clients that book with me. I've had, I believe, 4 or 5 so far. I think I've had 4 readings so far, and 1 on the way. And I'm so, so excited. So like I said, you guys, I'm so passionate about helping you guys getting yourself unstuck by utilizing astrology and numerology and all those different aspects, even human design as well. Like I take in all the things that I've learned along my journey and I allow other people to help them, provide them with different perspectives to help them get out of a rut and help them in their transitional periods, because my life has been filled with so many different transitional periods. It's crazy. Like, oh my goodness, Scorpionic energy has followed me. Plutonian energy has followed me. Okay. And Saturn is definitely teaching me about self. Okay. And so this is why I'm so passionate about empowering you guys, because I've had to empower myself so many times along my journey. So like I said, if you would love to book a reading with me, all of my details will be down in the description box below. You can message me, you can email me, you can send me a DM on Instagram, on TikTok. It doesn't matter. I would definitely answer, okay, as it pertains to booking a reading with me. But like I said, I'm so, so, so passionate about this. And that's why I said, because we are on this growing journey together, okay? There is no separation. We are doing this together. So I would love to help you guys along your journey, and for you guys to invite me along your journey as well, because I love, like, I'm so lit up when I see you guys grow and evolve. And like, because yes, we're on our different timelines and our different, spaces and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we're all in alignment with wanting to raise the consciousness. We're all in alignment with wanting to, pour into ourselves so we can do better than what our parents did, do better than what our ancestors did. And that is why I'm so passionate about what we're doing, because we are the catalyst. We are the generational curse breakers. We are these things, And so this is why I said, like, this is the season to allow yourself to evolve and grow past what you've been through. You are not what you've been through. You are literally the testimonial of what you've been through, right? So now you can utilize your testimony, and you can help other people become their own testimony along their journey. This is the reason why we were like chosen to take on these roles and chosen to take on all of these traumas, so we will be able to resonate with each other, right? And we have so many different healers out there that are helping one another, and they are specialized in so many different things. I would say I'm specialized more into the transformation in the transitional periods in life, especially when it comes to emotional, the emotional health, mental health. That is something that I'm specializing in. I've become such a master in, but I'm also still learning as a student along my journey, right? Because there's so many different levels that I still haven't overcome, but I can definitely help people from what I've been through, right? So this is why I said not having that imposter syndrome, because you've already gathered so much information thus far. You already been through so many things thus far. You are qualified. You are overly qualified to assist and help people in their transitional periods. So, this is all I have for you guys. Like I said, definitely don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely turn the notification on, so because I will be going on live today as well on YouTube. And yes, like if you want to book a reading with me, like I said, all of my details will be in the description box below. Also, the website is on my description in my description box below as well. But yes, y'all stay flowing, glowing, and speaking of getting rid of the old, my phone is definitely one of those things that definitely need to get rid of because the storage space. But that's besides the point. But yes, like I said, if you guys would love to book a reading with me, definitely don't forget to book with me. Down everything is down in the description box below, okay? And I would definitely love to hear about you guys' journey. So definitely comment, okay? Let's actually have a community. I don't know what it is. TikTok has been working as far as like growing that community, and people have been sharing their story, and I've been loving that. So I definitely know I was not the only one feeling how I was feeling as far as apathy and all these different things, but also feeling like, yes, it's definitely time for that move. So if you definitely resonate with that, don't forget to go ahead and share your journey. I would love to hear you guys' story and about where you guys might be at, maybe at along your journey. But yes, like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it to anybody that you may feel that needs to hear this message right now. Can I get my words out? Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm that's how you know it's been a long time. It's been a whole month. Okay, so give me grace, you guys. But yes, you guys, y'all stay flowing, glowing, and growing. I'm sending so much love, you guys. Peace and love. Until next time.